What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm doing my way too early 2025 NASCAR silly season predictions. We're going to go through all the full-time teams and all the part-time teams for 2025. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. We're going to go ahead and start talking about the one car for Trackhouse Racing. This has already been confirmed as early in February. It was announced that Ross Chastain has signed a long-term contract extension with Trackhouse Racing. You also have Busch Beer joining the team starting in 2024. Ross Chastain has brought a lot of success to Trackhouse Racing. I expect that Ross Chastain is going to continue doing that going into the 2024 and also the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series seasons. Up next, how about the 2-car for Team Penske? This is already confirmed as Austin Cindric will continue driving a 2-car for Team Penske at least for the next 2 years. Austin Cindric is, of course, a son of the president of Team Penske, that being Tim Cindric. And while Austin Cindric has struggled in the 2023 season, I think in the next couple years, Austin Cindric is going to improve. I think he's going to do better things going into the future and will continue driving this 2-car in 2025. Up next, how about the 3-car for Rich Schultz Racing? This is already confirmed as Austin has a contract right now that goes through the 2025 season with RCR. But it is the last year of his contract. But I will say I do believe Austin will at least get a 2 to 3 year extension with RCR and probably finish his career. By the end of 2025, Austin will be 35 years old, but I would imagine Austin wants to race with RCR for many years to come. He will, though, continue driving that 3-car in 2025. Up next, how about the 4-car for Stewart-Haas Racing? I don't expect any changes in 2025. Josh Berry, of course, will be joining Stewart-Haas Racing, the 4-car, in 2024. And I would expect that he will continue driving the 4-car once again in 2025 as well. Stewart-Haas is pretty high on Josh Berry, and Ronnie Cho's only reason he's coming back as a crew chief in 2024 is because of Josh Berry. I think he will also improve by 2025 as well. He might struggle a little bit in the Cup Series in 2024, considering SHR has not been that great recently. But I do believe that Josh Berry will get better by 2025. Up next, how about the 5-car for Hendrick Motorsports? This already confirmed as Kyle Larson has a contract right now that goes through the 2026 season. And it wouldn't surprise me by either 2024 or 2025 if Kyle Larson does end up signing a multi-year contract extension with this team. Kyle Larson, of course, also competing in the Indy 500 2024. He's going to continue to bring a lot of great success to Hendrick Motorsports in many years to come. Already a first ballot Hall of Famer, close to being a first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion, and will win many more championships with this team. Up next, how about the 6-car for RFK Racing? This is already confirmed as Brad Keselowski will continue driving the 6-car for RFK in 2025. Brad Keselowski will be getting the later portion of his NASCAR Cup Series career as Brad Keselowski will be 41 in the 2025 season. But either by 2024 or 2025, I think Brad Keselowski will be back at victory lane. I think that this team is going to continue to improve on a major platform. Now, I do not believe RFK is going to expand to 3 cars by 2025, by the way, but Brad Keselowski for sure will be in the 6-car. Up next, how about the 7-car for Spire Motorsports? This has already been confirmed as a few months ago. It was announced that Corey LaJoie had signed a multi-year contract extension with Spire that goes through either the 2025 or 2026 seasons. Corey LaJoie has been pretty underrated in the Cup Series in the 2023 year. I think he's going to continue doing great things with Spire Motorsports as that team looks to improve going into the 2024 season. I think that will carry going into the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season. Up next, how about the 8-car for RCR? This is already confirmed as Kyle Busch will continue driving the 8-car for pretty much the rest of his NASCAR Cup Series career. Now, Kyle Busch will be 40 by the end of the 2025 year, but Kyle Busch will likely be in this car for at least the next 5 or 6 years. Kyle Busch already in year number 1 has won 3 races, and I think he can win many more races as he tries to catch Dale Earnhardt on the all-time wins list and tries to win more championships in his career. But nonetheless, he'll continue driving his 8-car in 2025. Up next, how about the 9-car for Hendrick Motorsports? This is already confirmed as Chase Elliott has a contract currently going through the 2027 season. Now, Chase Elliott, it's no secret, has struggled in the 2023 year, but I believe with how much better he's been getting through the rest of the year, I think Chase Elliott is going to have a bounce-back run in the 2024 year. He's got great sponsors, great funding. He will continue driving this 9-car in 2025. Up next, talk about the 10-car for Stewart-Haas Racing. Now, I think by the end of 2023, I do believe that Eric Almirola is going to retire from the NASCAR Cup Series. My prediction right now was Zane Smith being out of the running because he'll be going to Trackhouse next year in 2024 Aspire Partnership. I predict that Cole Custer will be driving a 10 car for Stewart-Haas Racing in 2024 and also 2025. He's been a prior Cup driver with this team and has been in the SHR family for many, many years, as of course he is the son of Joe Custer, who is the president of Stewart-Haas Racing. And he's pretty safe because he brings sponsors and funding with the team that is in-house. So I think Cole Custer gets that 10 car in 2024 and it continues in 2025. Up next, how about the 11 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This already confirmed as Denny Hamlin has signed a multi-year contract extension with Joe Gibbs Racing that likely goes through 2026 or 2027. Denny Hamlin's having a great year in 2023, already winning 3 races here, including the most recent race at Bristol. And I do believe that Denny Hamlin is going to continue doing great things with Joe Gibbs Racing as he tries to win his first Cup Series championship before he does end up retiring. And he'll continue racing at least for the next few years with this team. Up next, how about the 12th car for Team Penske? This is already confirmed as Ryan Blaney will continue driving a 12th car for Team Penske in 2024 and 2025, as Ryan Blaney last year signed a multi-year and a long-term extension with Team Penske. Ryan Blaney is eventually going to be expected to step up to the plate. He's only won run race in the last few years, but Ryan Blaney nonetheless is a very, very solid driver and does have sponsors willing to work with him, and nonetheless he'll continue driving a 12th car in 2025. Up next, we're talking about the 13 car for Kaulig Racing. Now, in 2025, I think Kaulig Racing will have 3 cars, but a 13 car, I think, is still going to be a part-time entry, but it will run a lot more races than it has. I believe that AJ Allmendinger, I think Matt DiBenedetto, and Noah Gragson will all split this ride in 2025. AJ Allmendinger, who I think will be part-time in Cup next year as well. I think he'll be leaving Cup at the end of 2023 to go back to Xfinity, and I think he'll be part-time in Cup. Matt DiBenedetto has been heavily rumored to maybe head to the team like Kaulig for 2024. I certainly think he might be in that 16 next year, but I think he'll be part-time in 2025 and running full-time Xfinity. And then I think Noah Gragson will be part-time Cup or running full-time Xfinity in 2025. I think this will be a part-time entry with those 3 drivers. Up next, how about the 14 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? This already confirmed as Chase Briscoe will continue driving a 14 car for SHR in 2025. Chase Briscoe earlier this year signed a multi-year agreement with Stewart-Haas Racing. While he struggled in 2023, that contract's going to go pretty much for the rest of his career. Hopefully in the future, though, he can help Stewart-Haas Racing get a lot better and show major signs of improvement because he has struggled with this team, and SHR all around really needs a major rebuild. Up next, how about the 15 car for Rick Ware Racing? I think in 2024, we obviously know that Justin Haley will be driving for Rick Ware, and I expect he'll be in the 15 car in 2024, and that commitment will continue in 2025 as Justin Haley has a multi-year agreement with Rick Ware Racing starting next year. Obviously, we'll have an RFK alliance, and I think this team is going to improve. And I think that Justin Haley, I think, is a very underrated driver, is going to show a lot more improvement in the Cup Series and will be in that number 15 car long term and help this team improve. Up next, how about the 16 car for Kaulig Racing? Now in 2024, I think they do have a full-time driver. I think Ty Dillon is the favorite to get in the 16 car in 2024. But I think it's going to be a placeholder because I think in 2025, Chandler Smith, I think, is going to be in the 16 car in the 2025 season. Chandler Smith has been doing pretty good in Xfinity this year in 2023 with Kaulig. He's made a couple select Cup starts with the team in their 13 car, and I think they're going to want to promote him in 2024 and 2025. So I think Chandler Smith will be in that 16 car in the 2025 season. Up next, how about the 17 car for RFK Racing? This is already confirmed as Chris Buescher will be back in the 17 car 2024 and 2025. I think by this point, he'll be a championship threat and contender. Chris Buescher's had a great year in 2023, already winning 3 races this year, and has an outside chance to win the championship in 2023. I think he's even going to get better in 2024. If RFK even getting better at this point, I think that he'll do great things and continue driving this car. Up next, how about the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? Now, I think in 2024, Martin Truex Jr. is going to retire at the end of next year. So I expect that Martin Truex Jr.'s final year is going to come in 2024. So who takes over that 19 car in 2025? Well, I'm predicting that John Hunter Nemechek will be joining Legacy Motor Club in 2024. Will be in that 19 car in 2025. They obviously wanted to move John Hunter in-house in 2025 more than likely. He, of course, Legacy is switching to Toyota in 2024. He's going to be good with that team next year, but I think inevitably Martin Truex Jr. retires and John Hunter takes over the seat. Up next, how about the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This already confirmed as Cristobal has a long-term contract extension with Joe Gibbs Racing. Cristobal's been having a really solid year this year in the NASCAR Cup Series, already won one race at Bristol Dirt, and is looking to win more races in 2023, 2024, and 2025 as well. But is committed long-term and will continue driving number 20 car in 2025 for many years to come. Up next, how about the 21 car for the Wood Brothers? Now, the Wood Brothers are going to have some talks about their future past 2024. Harrison Burton is likely returning to that 21 car in the 2024 year, but I do believe they're going to keep him around in 2025 and continue driving the 21 car for the organization. Harrison Burton is a safe choice and a safe pick. He's a long-term project with the team, and he brings sponsorship funding, which is the thing that this team currently needs at the moment. So I expect Harrison Burton will continue being in that car in 2024 and also in 2025. Up next, how about the 22 car for Team Penske? This is already confirmed as Joey Logano has signed a long-term contract extension that goes through the 2028 season. Joey Logano, of course, coming off winning the 2022 championship, and while he does fortunately did not make the round of 12 this year, Joey Logano, I think, is going to be having a bounce back year in 2024, but might struggle in 2025. But we know for sure he'll be in the 22 car in that year. Up next, how about the 23 car for 23XI Racing? Now, interestingly, Bubba Wallace, from what I understand, is on a contract here in 2024. However, Bubba Wallace, I expect, will be returning to 23XI Racing in 2025. He's the face of this team. He brings sponsors and funding, and he's shown a lot of improvement in 2023. And I think 23XI Racing is going to want to be committed long-term to Bubba Wallace. So I believe Bubba Wallace will for sure be back in the 23 car for 23XI Racing in 2025. Up next, how about the 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This already confirmed as William Byron will continue driving a 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports in 2025. Now, interestingly, William Byron will be on a contract here in the 2025 season, but I don't expect anything to change for William Byron as he will probably get an extension either in late 2023 or 2024. He's already gotten 5 wins this year, and I think he's going to win more races this year and win a lot more races down the road as he begins a great career in the Cup Series. But nonetheless, he'll be back in the 24 car in 2024 and 2025. Up next, how about the 31 car for Kaulig Racing? Now, it's confirmed this past weekend that Daniel Hemrick will be driving the 31 car for this team in 2024. I don't think anything's going to change in 2025. I think Daniel Hemrick is going to stay with the team. Now, I think Daniel Hemrick will be decent with Kaulig Racing in 2024, which will be a major reason why they're going to keep him. And also, sponsorship and funding as well is going to be a major reason. So I think Daniel Hemrick will stick around and continue driving the 31 car in 2024 and 2025. Up next, how about the 33 car for Richard Childress Racing? Yes, I think RSR will be bringing back their 33 car in 2024-2025, and I think this ride is going to be split between 3 drivers: Austin Hill, Brody Kosecki, and Sheldon Creed. I think Sheldon Creed is going to make the least amount of starts. Austin Hill, I think, of course, will make a majority of starts with this team as they'll be back with their 21 car in 2025 as well, unless things change. And then, of course, Brody Kosecki will be looking to make more Cup Series experience as well. But I think those 3 drivers are going to split this said ride. Up next, how about the 34 car for Front Row Motorsports? Now, Michael McDowell, of course, will be returning to the 34 car in 2024, and I think he, of course, will return to the car once again in 2025. I think Michael McDowell will be getting close to the end of his NASCAR Cup Series career at this point, but Michael McDowell's been having a great year in 2023. Obviously, did not make the round of 12 this year, but Michael McDowell is a very, very good and great driver. And I think you want to keep him around in front row for stability's sake. I think he sticks around and drives this said car once again in 2025. Up next, how about the 36 car for Front Row Motorsports? Yes, I think Front Row Motorsports will have a 3rd car once again in 2025. This car will run quite a few races. I think Ty Majeski is going to drive a majority of these races. Wouldn't surprise me if Frankie Muniz gets an opportunity in this ride. I also think Haley Deegan will make a few select NASCAR Cup Series starts in 2025 as well. Wouldn't surprise me if she makes maybe 1 or 2 starts in Cup in 2024, but I certainly think Ford is going to want to give her some more experience. I think that's what they're going to do for her and give her some more starts. I think Ty Majeski and Frankie Muniz get some starts as well. Up next, how about the 38 car for Front Row Motorsports? I don't expect anything to change by 2025. Todd Gillen, I think, will continue driving the 38 car in 2025. Todd Gillen, in my opinion, has been having a good year in 2023. I think he wants to be committed long-term to Front Row Motorsports, as I think stability is going to be the key thing for Front Row going into the future. So I think Todd Gillen will be committed long-term with Front Row and stay in the 38 car and can continue helping build this organization. Up next, how about the 41 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? While nothing's been confirmed past 2023 for Ryan Preece, I think Ryan Preece will be long-term with Stewart-Haas Racing, and I think that continues in the year 2025. I think Ryan Preece is a very underrated driver. He's shown flashes this year in 2023. I think a big reason why he struggled at times, though, is because of the equipment he's in. SHR has struggled, and I think they need a shot in the arm. They could switch manufacturers, but I do believe you'll see Ryan Preece continue driving the 41 car in 2025. Up next, how about the 42 car for Legacy Motor Club? Now, I mentioned I think that John Nemechek is going to be leaving Legacy at the end of 2024 to go over, at the end of the 2024, I should say, and going over to Joe Gibbs, who takes the 42 car. Well, I predict that Ryan Truex is going to take over the 42 car for Legacy Motor Club in 2025. He has a little sponsorship funding with him, and also I think Ryan Truex is a very, very good race car driver. I think he's going to be full-time with JGR in their Xfinity program, and I think Ryan Truex deserves another shot and opportunity in a Cup race. So I think they're going to bring him up, which I think will be overall a pretty good move for JGR. I think he continues driving this car, and will get in this car in 2025. Up next, how about the 43 car for Legacy Motor Club? I'm not expecting anything to change in 2025. I think Eric Jones will be in his 43 car once again. Eric Jones has a multi-year deal with Legacy, and he's done a really good job in his first year, well, second or third year with the team. And Eric Jones, with Toyota picking him up once again, I think that's a massive pickup for this team. I think you're going to see huge improvements from Eric Jones long-term, and maybe a championship threat in the 2025 year as they go in-house with Toyota. Up next, how about the 45 car for 2311 Racing? Nothing's changing by 2025. Tyler Reddick will continue driving his 45 car. Tyler Reddick's been having a great year in his first year, and I think 2311 Racing is going to continue to make major steps forward to continue to improve. So I think Reddick's going to stick around long term and continue trying to build up 2311 Racing and get better with this team. Up next, how about the 47 car for JTG Doherty Racing? Nothing's changing in 2025 as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has a long-term contract with JTG Doherty. Now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will be in his mid-30s and close to his 40s by this point. But Stenhouse is still a very, very solid driver, and he's shown huge improvement in 2023. I think JTG Doherty is going to be committed to him long-term, and he will continue to improve, in my opinion, by the 2025 season. Up next, how about the 48 car for Hendrick Motorsports? Nothing's changing in 2025 as earlier this year it was announced Alex Bowman has signed a contract extension with Hendrick Motorsports for 2026, and Ally is also committed for the 2028 season. Alex Bowman, in my opinion, was going to get better in 2024, and I think will improve in 2025 as well. Like I said, I know it's been a struggle for him this year, but I think he will get better by this point and have better runs, and will continue doing great things with Hendrick Motorsports. Up next, how about the 50 car for the Money Team? Yeah, I think the Money Team is going to return in 2024 and 2025. And I think that Jeffrey Earnhardt, who has been rumored for some rides for 2024, will be in this car in 2025. Jeffrey Earnhardt, in my opinion, pretty underrated driver. He's done good things in Xfinity this year with Alpha Prime, though he struggled at times this year. I think he deserves another opportunity and a shot in a really solid NASCAR Cup Series ride. And maybe he'll get, isn't a great team at this point, but I think he'll run more races with this organization. Up next, how about the 51 car for Rick Ware Racing? Now, I do expect Rick Ware to have two teams by 2025, and this car, once again, will be a rotation. I think it'll be split between a couple drivers. J.J. Yealy, Riley Herbst, Haley Deegan, and Jenson Button. And maybe Ryan Namath comes back for a few races as well. I think Rick Ware Racing wants to continue to improve, and I think they want to bring drivers in that can help the team long term. I think these drivers make sense, and I think they'll be part of their organization in 2025. Up next, how about the 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? Nothing changing by 2025 as Ty Gibbs, of course, is the grandson of Joe Gibbs, and I think Ty Gibbs will be a championship threat at this point. Ty Gibbs had a very impressive run at Bristol, and he's, of course, going to win the Rookie of the Year, and has shown flashes of brilliance throughout the 2023 season. So I think if they're going to be committed long-term, of course, he's going to be with the team throughout his whole entire career, but I think he'll be an outside championship threat by the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season. Up next, how about the 62 car for Beard Motorsports? Now, I think Beard Motorsports is going to have multiple drivers in their organization. I think Parker Kligerman, who currently drives a 48 car for Big Machine Racing, is going to drive the said car. I wouldn't be surprised if Austin Hill is driving this car as well. And I think Matt DiBenedetto also will drive this car in select races as well in 2025. All these drivers deserve a chance and opportunities. I think Beer Motorsports has been seeing them kind of expand their runs and races that they're going to run. I think they're going to continue expanding their schedule and bring multiple drivers in their team going into the future. So they will have multiple drivers in their cars. Up next, how about the 67 car for 23XI Racing? I think this car is coming back by 2024 and 2025. And I think they're going to have multiple drivers in their cars. I think Carl Edwards, Corey Heim, Kamui Kobayashi, and Trevor Bayne are going to be the 4 most likely drivers in that car. I think Carl Edwards do a 1-off or 2-off with the team. I've been wanting to see Carl Edwards return to the NASCAR Cup Series. I think he deserves a chance to come back. Corey Heim, I think, is a really young, really talented, young and upcoming talented Toyota guy who deserves some Cup Series starts at this point. Kamui Kobayashi, I think, will make a few road course starts. I also think Trevor Bayne will get some Cup starts as well with this team. So I think they're going to see 23XI Racing run a 67 car a lot more times. Up next, how about the 77 car for Spire Motorsports? In 2024, I'm predicting Carson Osbar will be in this car. I think that's going to continue in 2025. I think his rookie year, he's going to be extremely impressive. But I think that Spire Motorsports is even going to get better by 2025 with Andretti coming into play. I think Andretti Autosport is going to partner up with the team along with Trackhouse as well, and his team is going to show major flashes. Carson Osbar has been really impressive in the select NASCAR Cup Series starts he's had, and I think he's a very good young driver, and I think he's going to do great things with Spire Motorsports. Up next, how about the 78 car for Spire Motorsports? Yes, heard that right. It was announced earlier this evening or yesterday when you're watching this that Zane Smith will be joining Spire Motorsports with Trackhouse partnership starting in 2024. And this partnership is going to continue in 2025. Now, Trackhouse wants to move in by 2025 inside the team, and I think that certainly is a strong possibility. But if he doesn't happen where he goes into Trackhouse officially, I think he'll still be committed to Spire Motorsports, and they will have a huge partnership with Trackhouse. But Zane Smith is for sure going Cup racing and will be part of the Trackhouse racing family for sure in this number 78 car. Up next, how about the 84 car for Legacy Motor Club? In 2024, Jimmy Johnson's going to run part-time, and I think other drivers are going to get an opportunity. In 2025, however, I think Corey Heim, Trevor Bayne, and Jimmy Johnson are going to split this ride. Trevor Bayne, like I said, will make a lot of Cup starts. I think Corey Heim is ready to move up or going to have a chance to go Cup racing. And of course, Jimmy Johnson makes a few starts. But this ride for sure will make some returns and come back and do some racing in 2025 for sure. Up next, how about the 88 car for Junior Motorsports? I think Junior Motorsports jumps up the Cup on a part-time basis. I think you're going to see Sammy Smith drive this car in 2025. Sammy Smith is heavily rumored to be headed to the 8 car for Junior Motorsports in Xfinity for 2024. He'll make a few select Cup starts in their Junior Motorsports Cup program in 2025. And Brandon Jones and Justin Allgaier will also drive the said car in 2025 as well. And maybe even Kyle Weatherman gets a chance and opportunity. I think you're going to see multiple different drivers get an opportunity and shot, and maybe we'll see what happens, but I do believe you'll see these drivers in their Cup car in 2025. So I think Junior Motorsports will go Cup racing on a part-time basis. Up next, how about the 91 car for Trackhouse Racing? Now, I think that Trackhouse is going to want to make this 91 car full-time by 2025. We obviously do know that Shane Van Gisbergen is going to be running a full development deal with Trackhouse Racing in the 2024 year, but I think Trackhouse eventually is going to want to move him up to the Cup Series on a full-time basis. I think there's a really strong chance and possibly that is going to end up happening. So I think that Shane will run a lot more races by 2025, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to see him in the Cup Series on a full-time basis by the 2025 season. And finally, let's talk about the 99 car for Trackhouse Racing. This is already confirmed. Daniel Suarez will be in the 99 car by 2025. This also could be his contract year and his last year they'll be driving this car, however. So they could potentially be out by the end of 2025. But he's been committed to Trackhouse for a very, very long time. And Daniel Suarez has shown signs of great things with the Trackhouse Racing group. So I think he'll continue driving the 99 car and will be in this car for sure in the 2024 year, but also in the 2025 seasons. I think Trackhouse still believes in Daniel Suarez, and he still is a very good driver. And I think we'll get better and will improve in 2024 and also 2025. So that is going to be it for my 2025 NASCAR silly season predictions. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications on to notify when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links to description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's video. What are your 2025 NASCAR silly season predictions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we are going to have a news video dropping the channel, and of course, we'll have the NASCAR Xfinity Series race picks for Texas. Then on Tuesday, we'll have another silly season update dropping the channel. We've had a lot of silly season news that's broken, especially as of late. And then, of course, on Wednesday, we'll have a NASCAR news video dropping on the channel. And then on Thursday, if the schedule comes out this week, we'll talk about that as well. Got a lot of great content dropping on the channel that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.